The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Even the government agrees.
He's a dangerous man!
Niggas is decaf, I stick them for the cream.
Hey, yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey, yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Dante's Boxing Nation Show. I am your host, Dante. As always, shouts out nationboxing.com, boxingtalk.com. Go ahead and check out those websites, get all your news and everything. First things first, I want to go ahead and introduce my man in the building, my co-host, Norton Radical. What it is?
It's the Blush.
There we go. And on the mics, on the ones and twos, on the phone at least, my man has a good channel, a great channel. Matter of fact, he's been dropping a whole lot of hot videos. Check him out on YouTube. My man, Boxing Ego, is in the building. What up, Ego?
What's up, y'all? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to do it Run DMC style. We got 3 in the building today.
Jam Master J.
Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, because you know that this is, you know, the biggest news. It's going to be the biggest news for the next 2 months. I mean, you know, anything pertaining to these fighters is pretty much dominating, you know, all of the news sites right now. So the biggest news when it comes to Mayweather versus Pacquiao is they have finally just announced the one and only press conference leading up to the fight. Matter of fact, you know, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting because we know that usually fights at this magnitude, they have a big, you know, press tour, you know, like about at least 8 to 11 cities that they do. And they're only doing one for this fight, you know. So this is going to be pretty big. It's not going to, the fans will not be invited. It's very private, only for the media, you know. So, you know, I want to start off asking you, Norrin. Let me ask you, man. Why do you think they would make this private, and why do you think there's only one press tour as opposed to 8 or 11?
A single press conference instead of an entire press tour. Honestly, I would just be subject to speculation. I mean, and the reason why I would only have to, you know, give speculative answers is because I really think that's kind of whack. You know, I think, you know, being how long, you know, regardless of the buffoonery, you know, that's been, you know, the circus atmosphere that's been surrounding the fight and the build-up in these 5 to 6 years, the on again, off again, you know, and the behavior, you know, of a lot of the, you know, the more, you know, degenerate, you know, fans. It's still the fans deserve to see these guys come out, you know, from state to state, you know, New York, Texas, you know what I mean? You know, Chicago, like the fans really need, you know, deserve to see that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't want to be overly critical. Obviously, there are reasons. But again, it's not me as a fan. You know, I would definitely like to see these guys hit the cities of the U.S. and shit, even hit the cities internationally. You know what I mean? Go to Manila. You know what I mean? You know, with the history. You know, with Pacquiao's prominence in his homeland and the history of boxing in Manila, with, of course, you know, one of the greatest fights of all time, Ali Frazier 3. You know, like, you know, the fans deserve to see these guys come out face to face. You know, the fans have waited. And again, I know the decaf portion of the fans have been, you know, exhibited extreme degenerate behavior over these last 5-6 years. But regardless of that, the fans really deserve to see these guys come out, you know, and face to face and, you know, and talk their shit and promote the fight. You know, so it's something that I'm a little disappointed, a little bit more than a little bit disappointed in. You know what I mean? So I can't really even give you a valid, you know, I could speculate this and speculate that. But your reason will be as good as mine.
I totally agree. I mean, now this is what I will say real quick before I hand it to you, Ego. Now, I feel if they're going to do just one press conference, you might as well make that the biggest press conference ever. You know what I mean? I mean, that'll kind of make up for the fact that they can't do 11 cities. I think they should have had commercials leading up to this press conference They should have had, it should have been open to the public. You know, it should have been, you know, basically promoted as the first time Mayweather and Pacquiao, you know, meet face-to-face at a press conference, so on and so forth. That would have sold the fight. I know they would have to spend money to do that, but come on, man. A fight that's going to generate $300 million or more.
Hey.
I mean, doesn't that make sense, Ego?
Yeah, I definitely think it does, and I agree with both of you guys. I agree with Norin as well. I mean, the one that really loses out to me is the fans. People want to wear their war paints, wear Pacquiao shirts, Mayweather shirts, TMT hats. They're the ones that really suffer. I went to the Rios Alvarado 3 in Denver, and nobody knew it until I think the day of, but the weigh-in was closed off to the public. And it was just, it sucked because I'm walking in with credentials and getting in, and all the people there, you know, when you hear like the crowd like, rah, rah, and they're all mad because the space wasn't big enough. So the weigh-ins, unless you were immediate family or like part of the training camp, you couldn't get in. So, I mean, an even bigger fight like Mayweather-Pacquiao, it's just, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Like me, I think if I had to take an educated guess, I would say it happened because, one, Mayweather's his own boss, and then the length of time for the negotiations, they stretched so long. Like before, like the Maidana rematch and stuff, I think behind the scenes they knew these fights were happening. Chris Algieri, Pacquiao, even before they released it. So the length of time and negotiations, I don't think really many people knew exactly what was going on. You hear even people like Dan Rayfield were saying it wouldn't happen, and Cotto 2 is imminent. So I think they stalled so long, and like it stretched so long with negotiations, it took forever. They didn't have time to properly plan. And then the last thing is it just makes it more exclusive. Like, oh, it's closed off to the public. Now people are really going to be feasting and salivating for this event. Like I said, it sucks for the fans, but, I mean, if you have to wait between now and fight week, then you're really going to be craving it, as opposed to if they went to different cities in Texas and stuff, then different people would have amateur videos and cell phone videos and stuff like that. So maybe they're trying to make it really exclusive. Either way, it sucks for the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe Skip Bayless gave Floyd a assassination threat. Oh, he's part of the media. My bad.
That gives him easier access.
Son of a bitch.
Or more access.
Son of a bitch.
You know. Speaking of Skip Bayless, well, you know, we're going to talk about Skip Bayless in a minute, too, man.
Shit.
Now, I also wanted to talk about, and you know, Ego, you could share, you know, one of your millions of comments you receive as well. But somebody sent me a message. You know, I'm breaking down, of course, how I believe the Mayweather fight is going to play out. Now, I want fans that are very emotionally attached towards your boy Manny Pacquiao, or even if you're emotionally attached towards hating Floyd Mayweather, I want you to understand when it comes to breaking down a fight, you don't have to try to make it seem like both fighters has just as much of a chance of winning when you don't believe that they do. You know, if I was to talk about Donaire versus Jorge Arce, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I believe Jorge Arce has just as much of a chance to beat Donaire as vice versa. You could, hopefully you guys can understand that logic, okay? Because people, you know, send me messages. Every now and then I have someone send me a message. This guy sent me a message the other day. He said something on the lines where, you know, you're being biased towards Floyd Mayweather when you break down the fight on who you think is going to win the fight. And then he changes by saying, basically, you know, even if Floyd Mayweather does beat Pacquiao, it's not going to mean anything, you know. So this is, Ego, isn't this, and Norin, isn't this what we've been talking about since day one, which is, why is it these are the same fans that have been calling Floyd Mayweather a coward for so long, and then soon as the fight is made, now they have no confidence in their own boy, Manny Pacquiao, winning the fight. Now they're picking the guy that they hate the most to win the fight. How does this work, Nora?
Okay, I'm going to be facetiously offensive. All right,
Please.
So hey.
The whole truth.
Hey, listen, D. Stay in your seat.
Oh, man.
Don't get
George, give me a seatbelt.
Hey, exactly. Don't get George. Hold this guy. I don't want him to get offended because I got to exclude myself. But listen, man. Listen, man. Are we stupid? I mean, Ego is a smart guy. You're a fucking intelligent. You know what I mean? Borderline geniuses. Are you guys stupid? Do you guys really think that these people believe what they're saying? They don't believe that shit.
We know that.
They don't believe that shit that they're talking about. All these guys talking, you know, Mayweather scared of Pac. It's ridiculous. Listen, I don't give a fuck. Hey, pardon my French. I don't give a fuck how many times somebody tells you 2 + 2 is 5.
Okay.
It's equals 4. Whatever, however you want to call it, it's that many amount of units. 2 + 2 is 4. These people knew this all along. They was praying that this wouldn't happen, so they could go on and continue to malign Mayweather's name. They never believed that shit. So now, like you said, what do you got? You got the built-in excuses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't believe that shit. That's what I'm saying. We must be stupid if we believe that they believe that dumb shit.
We knew that. We was always
you.
teaching the people who didn't know the truth.
Exactly.
Because that's what we do.
For sure.
Class will always be in session over here
Already.
at DBN, nationboxing.com, baby. So speaking of people, speaking of people who claimed that Floyd was scared, and just like my man Norn completely broke it down, everyone already knew 2 + 2 was 4. Okay? Everybody already knew it was 4. So, but now we starting to have these cats come out and admit that now they know it as well, but they didn't want to admit it before. Another person who falls on that list, is your boy 50 Cent.
Curtis.
Man. Now your boy 50 Cent, all of a sudden, he's the man who kept saying Floyd is scared. Floyd is scared. And what's so crazy is all of the fans who hated Floyd Mayweather, they would always basically quote what Floyd Mayweather said. Well, you heard what 50 said. 50 said he's scared. Now your boy is singing a whole nother tune. Matter of fact, Ego, go ahead and let everybody know the different tune that 50 Cent is singing right now.
All right, so 50 Cent was on 105.1, The Breakfast Club. It's a popular radio station. I did a video on it. The video's online. You can catch it somewhere. And basically, he said he is willing to bet $1.6 million of his own money on Floyd Mayweather beating Pacquiao May 2nd.
The champ.
Now, he did months ago come out and also say he believes the fight won't happen. He also said he believes Floyd Mayweather is scared to death, I think were his words exactly. And it's just so funny to see all these fans do a 180. And when the person slanders the guy you don't like, then it's all good. It's all gravy. You're like, yeah, 50 knows his stuff. I love his music. And then as soon as he says something that you don't agree with, it's fuck 50. He
exactly.
Sucks. Unit sucks. His movies, you know what I'm saying? And they completely Alex Ariza. People had suspicions on Alex Ariza and his methods. And I'm not going to get into detail, but when he was with Pacquiao, they had suspicion with his methods. Then the diehard Pacquiao fans, they vouched for him. They're like, no, he's a good dude. He wouldn't do it. Then he sided with the enemy, or he went with the enemy, no longer with Team Pacquiao, went with Rios, and Pacquiao was fighting Rios. Now he's a snake. He's a traitor. He sucks. You know what I mean? He's the worst strength and conditioning coach. Now he's with Mayweather, which is even more of a Pacquiao nemesis, and you hear even more stuff being said about Alex Ariza. But when he was with the dude you like, Manny Pacquiao,
he could do no wrong. Story.
So it's just funny to see the fans like sandals and they flip-flop.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
Well, from the beginning, man, from the beginning. Like I said, this is what we do, y'all. This is what we do. We educate. You know what I mean? Some of you guys already had, a head on your shoulders and had the knowledge. But for the cats that didn't, or for the cats that was begging for the knowledge, that's what we provide over here. So, 50 Cent, he knew all along. And for people to even use him as a reliable source is ridiculous. We already know 50 Cent, when he leaves you, you know what I'm saying, or when he breaks up with any of his crew, anybody who used to mess with him, we know what's coming after that. We seen how he threw all of his, former members from G Unit under the bus. Recorded your boy, on a real conversation. Well, my bad. I forget his name.
Buck.
Young Buck. Yeah, one of the coolest dudes, one of the hottest dudes,
brother,
with the lyrics and everything.
True
But
indeed.
yeah, man, Young Buck is talking to this dude man to man on some real shit. And 50 Cent records and leaks the shit? And you surprised that he would say something negative about Floyd Mayweather? Come on, man. Come on, man. So we already know what time it is. But
you know what I noticed too, that it's funny to me. Like I've never, if one of the viewers can leave a comment and answer this question, since when is it a crime to have an educated argument for why you are picking the favorite. You're not picking the underdog, which is
excellent point, Ego.
You're picking
excellent
the favorite, point. and I see like Bernard Hopkins recently said some statements. He said after 6 rounds, it's target practice for Floyd. Brandon Rios was on Ellie Seckbeck's channel. He said that he's picking Floyd. Just a ton of different people. Oscar De La Hoya has been on record. Marquez, different people. And Shane Mosley, also another person recently on Fox, he said it. And you see, like, I don't even think they're boxing fans. They're just a fan of one fighter. They turn on these people. You want to shit on Shane Mosley because he's been in there with both of them, and he's picking them. Even though he showed both of them respect, you don't like what he said, so you want to badmouth them. Oh, that's why he's slurring. He's doing this. He lost the boat.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with? You know what I'm saying? Those are psychological scapegoats to like deter and get away from the situation at hand. Shane Mosley, because he lost to both, doesn't mean he can't have an opinion. Freddie Roach has had a way worse pro career than Shane Mosley has had as a boxer. So when Freddie Roach says he's going to knock out Marquez and Mayweather, I mean, he can't have an opinion because he took L's in his sport. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and Seth, the great thing about what you just said too, Ego, is how many? What did they got? Five. Let's see. Mosley, Marquez, De La Hoya, Cotto, Hatton. 5, right? They got 5 opponents in common.
I never even counted, but
about 5, a handful.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, a handful. Those are the opinions that really count. You understand what I'm saying?
Those are the most.
Should we say those are the most reliable
Yep.
and accurate? Those are the ones we can hang our hats on.
Absolutely.
And like you said, see what those guys are saying. I think it's 5 out of 5, like batting 1,000. That they're all, like my man just said, going with the favorite.
It's a landslide.
Wow.
And they get mad at you. Like, I think, Dante, you had a video where Oscar said their punching power is about the same, and people get mad.
Yeah.
Like, you've never been in the ring with Pacquiao or Mayweather, so just based on records, you're saying that their punching power is not about the same. Like, how can you gauge that when, like, people want to go against the grain with, like Norin just said, people who have mutual opponents in common, they fought both. But you want to say, just because you hate Mayweather, his punching power is nowhere near Pacquiao, the legendary punching power of Pacquiao, because because of what? Because of his record? Because he doesn't finish the fight as exciting or explosive as Pacquiao?
The mythological punching power.
Mayweather's also not been knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Pacquiao's just more aggressive offensively. That just because you don't score a knock, it's not all about knockouts versus winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the only thing that happens and matters in boxing.
Man, we giving it to him for free, Ego. Now, I don't know if we should be doing this.
Sold, not told.
Oh, boy.
Sold, not told.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. You beat me to it. So, man, we giving it to him free, boy. Pacquiao should be thanking us right now, man. This just way too much education in one session, man. It just is. And you just remind me, Ego, I got so many videos I haven't even dropped yet. You remind me, I forgot about dropping this video. There's a man by the name of Ramon Montano. Okay, this guy, he sparred with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. I talked to him at the arrival, the grand, arrival of Mayweather's first day training, his first day back. I interviewed him. Now, Manny Pacquiao fans, you might want to close your ears what I'm about to say next. This man, not only did he say the power was around the same, he said, I believe he said, he thinks Mayweather actually hits a little harder, and then he says this. This is when it gets very interesting. He said that he sparred with Manny Pacquiao dozens and tons of rounds. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. He said Manny Pacquiao could never hurt him. Everything was wide and telegraphed. He said they were hard thudding punches, but Pacquiao could never hurt him. He said that Floyd Mayweather hurt him on multiple occasions. Okay? And this is one of those tough-hearted Mexican fighters, all right? One of those aggressive fighters that, matter of fact, I've seen this guy spar with Floyd Mayweather before. And I've seen him in the ring coming forward, on some Maidana stuff. Come on, hit me, on some tough stuff. And this guy admitted, I'll be dropping a video probably later on tonight. But
drop that.
Oh, yeah. This man said, Floyd Mayweather hurt me. Manny Pacquiao could never hurt me.
See, that's the sweet.
Right?
That's the science. That's the science.
And see,
go ahead, Ego.
I get so mad because I'm sick. I just can't wait for May 2nd. Like, you guys don't understand. Just so we can finally have a verdict and see what is what. But on my channel, I get this too sometimes. Like, I did a video about 50 Cent doing the over $1 million bet on Floyd Mayweather, and people are like, "Oh, you're a Flomo because of this." Like, no, just I don't know of anybody else who's betting $1 million on Pacquiao. Like, what celebrity has come out and says, I'm dropping 1.6 million or $1 million plus on Pacquiao? I'm not saying people aren't picking Pacquiao, but what I am saying is that's the news. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like Shane Mosley. I didn't make Shane Mosley say Mayweather would win. You know what I'm saying? And people get so worked up and emotional. Like, I picked Triple G to win his last probably 8 fights, but you don't see those same fans saying, this is a Triple G channel. You're a Triple G. You're a GGG groupie. Like, you don't see that. But when it comes to the people at the top of the sport, you get these extremists that they don't even want to talk boxing. They just want to say
extremists, like
dumb shit that they've heard. Floyd paid off USADA and VADA and this and that, and he failed 3 times. And based on what? Like, and these people don't ever have any credible, like, inside sources. I talk to people in gyms and different things. I never see these people at fights, the people that leave these crazy comments.
And that's just the one thing I want to add, going back to what you said about the common sparring partner, D, is that's what the science, the pugilistic science versus the decaffeinization. And like you said, the emotion that's involved, that's all these, they're talking, and it's totally irrational. And we're talking totally logic-based scientific data. And the reason why Floyd hurt him and Pacquiao wasn't able to hurt him to the same degree, not that Pacquiao doesn't have, possess power and doesn't throw hard punches, but Mayweather hits you when you're not expecting it. Mayweather hits you with punches that, and Pacquiao does it too, with the angles. He's a master at, coming from an awkward angle. We know that. So he does catch you with punches that you don't see coming as well. But Mayweather is a master of that. Mm-hmm. He's a master at hitting you, when you're least expecting it, or, the punch you never saw coming. Those are the shots that hurt. See, that's a part of, again, that's in the scientific aspect of the sport.
Absolutely.
And that's, like you said, way outside of the range of, the buffoons.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Because another thing I noticed, too, on videos is Pacquiao. Everyone wants to compare Pacquiao's heavy bag footage versus Mayweather's. Mayweather's not going in there like he does. He has brittle hands or whatever. He's older than Pacquiao. He's not going in there to, I'm going to destroy, I'm George Foreman.
It's about accuracy.
I'm going to destroy this heavy bag. He's going in there to go through the motions, to loosen up his muscles, and prepare him for what he's going to. Like, people said the same thing. Oh, Canelo's destroying the heavy bag. He's ripping it. Mayweather's pity-patty. And then what happened on fight night? Canelo was looking foolish in that fight. And I like Canelo, but, I mean, the heavy bag shit, people, they put so much stock in the dumbest shit. I once had someone on my channel say at the Canelo weigh-in, Mayweather was afraid of Canelo because he was chewing his gum aggressively and hard. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that heavy bag. Yeah, Pacquiao, he is more impressive on the heavy bag. But, I mean, fight night.
Yeah, listen, you used the perfect example. Nobody was more impressive than George Foreman, than Big George Foreman.
Excellent
point.
Yeah,
he literally put a dent in multiple heavy bags.
Yeah.
And what happened in Zaire.
What happened in
so
Zaire?
Again, it's about the science. So, at DBN University, we go over your heads.
So not told.
Wait, what you were saying,
They don't
Ego?
even know what that fight is.
Yeah, exactly. But see,
unbelievable.
But going back to the heavy bag, I mean, there's many different ways you can bring up the contrast. If you think about the fact when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, how long does he go on the heavy bag?
Indeed.
I mean, we've seen him work out, Norrin, on numerous occasions, right? Non-stop. From the pads to sparring, he'll go straight from sparring. He'll run to Roger Mayweather, start doing pads. Go to Nate, start hitting the body pad, the body armor, right? Then he'll run down to the heavy bag and go nonstop for a good 45 minutes to an hour on the heavy bag. Every person I've ever met that says this man's work ethic is unbelievable. And there's nobody who can compete with his work ethic. That's the reason why Floyd Mayweather is one of the rare fighters who finishes the 12th round like he starts off the first round, or maybe I should say like he starts off the 4th round, because that's when he really gets smoking.
All natural.
All natural. And like I said, I'll give you just brought up the next conversation.
Already.
The next topic. And I give Manny Pacquiao credit because he has showed a lot of endurance and stamina, but at the same time when he was in there with thinkers like Tim Bradley slowed him down. And now he's going up against the ultimate thinker. But speaking of USADA and VADA, Norrin, let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. Now, another thing, Ego, is these fans, they are so shook right now that believing that Floyd Mayweather is going to win this fight. They're coming up with the most ridiculous excuses, like you was just saying, Boxing Ego. They're saying that, Floyd Mayweather has USADA, VADA in his pocket. He's paying off judges, so on and so forth. Me and you were talking about this before we got on air, Ego. How does that make any sense that the most hated guy in the sport all of a sudden is going to have the most important people in the sport cater to him? Are they trying to say that the sport loves Floyd Mayweather more than they love Manny Pacquiao? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense that the big heads in the sport like VADA and anyone else who could, basically manipulate anything if they wanted to in their favor, wouldn't it make more sense that they would try to help out Manny Pacquiao, the most loved, the biggest, the most iconic figure in the sport, according to, the casual fans? Doesn't that make sense? Another thing, too, is when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, if he could pay off the judges so easily, how come there was a judge that had the Canelo fight a draw?
Fuck C.J. Ross.
Right? Exactly. And how come, matter of fact, didn't even one of the judges in the Maidana fight have Maidana winning the fight? I think one of the judges had it for Maidana, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a split.
I think the first fight, and I could be wrong, but I believe the first fight they had one judge had Maidana winning the fight. Ego, speak on this. Like I said, everything that I just said right now. How is it possible that the most hated guy in the sport can have all of the power to basically pay off everyone? Is it because they love him more than they love Pacquiao? Well, I mean, what is it, Ego?
Man, I couldn't tell you because I don't think like that. Like I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, and that's what everything that happens in boxing, people want to say it's a conspiracy and it's a cover up and it's a fix. Like some of y'all watch too many movies like Hollywood. Not saying corruption doesn't exist, not saying that some of those elements might happen in boxing, but it sounds like a bunch of excuses for anybody to say like this is going to happen and that before we're not even we barely got into March. How do you know what's being done behind closed doors in May? Like Mayweather was spotted with Todd DeBuff, Bob Arum's stepson, who works with Top Rank, and people were saying he's conspiring to rob Pacquiao.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. A Top Rank president is walking in broad daylight with Mayweather being filmed talking about making a fix. Not only that, Pacquiao is their biggest earner over there at Top Rank. So why would he even want to do that for Floyd? Why would he want to do Floyd any favors like that?
Exactly.
And like, yeah, this is our cash cow, but we're going to take a one-time payment and fuck him over.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of, Mayweather's going to be paying. Like, I don't know. It just sounds, these conspiracies sound ridiculous. I heard Canelo got paid off to lose to Mayweather. Like, he was that good to you? Like, you can't fathom that he just lost because he's young and still learning? It had to be a fix? Come on, man.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you this. This is the type of confidence that you Pacquiao fans are supposed to have for your fighter. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, I don't care if Pacquiao paid off all the judges. I don't care if Pacquiao ran in the ring like he admitted he did in the Brandon Rios fight. No matter what Pacquiao does in the ring, I still believe Mayweather is going to win the fight. And that is how you sound like you truly believe in the fighter that you are predicting to win. Right? And you guys don't sound like that. There's no reason you should be saying, what I made a video and I titled it, what if Manny Pacquiao lands the left hand? right? Because that's what the fans kept saying, oh, if he lands that left hand, this and that. And I broke it down, and I said what would probably happen if Manny Pacquiao lands that left hand. We've already seen Floyd Mayweather hurt before. We've already seen how he deals, with adversity. We've already seen it. So then some dumbass fan, he sends a message saying, yeah, well, the real question is, what if Floyd Mayweather runs all day, right? I mean, how stupid does that sound? First of all, if you think about the question, it sounds like you the dummy because you saying that you don't know what to do if he runs all day. I mean, I used to box before, and I tell you right now, that's one of the first things they taught me when I was boxing. You cut off the damn ring. My 13-year-old son will tell you that right now. Matter of fact, you remember Norrin, he was in the studio, and I asked my son on some straight freestyle stuff. I said, what do you do if someone is running in the ring? And he says, you cut off the ring? So if you guys are asking that stupid-ass question, the question is, what happens if he runs in the ring? Like you don't know the answer to that. I'm going to tell you right now, you guys don't give your fighter enough credit, and you're making him look bad, okay?
Exactly.
Should have sold, not told, man. I'm telling you, man.
You know what? The other thing to add on real quick to what you just said is you have to look at, like, fights. There's two ends of the spectrum, a left and then the right. So what Mayweather does to you, in your opinion, is runs. He runs, right? So on the opposite, you would have a guy like Pacquiao who doesn't. A lot of times he stays in the pocket, sometimes more often than he should or whatever. So if Floyd does what he does, which is run in your mind, then he's a chicken, he's coward, he's running, right? But when Pacquiao's doing the things that work for him, then Floyd Mayweather, you know what I mean? Why don't you bring it up when Pacquiao is doing the things that suit him? It's point blank, you got to figure it out. You got to get in there and figure it out. If Pacquiao's moving, providing angles and like feints, what is Floyd going to say? Hey, time out. Stop that. Stop doing those feints. They're tricking me. Like, no. You have to figure it out, Johnny, on the spot,
of course,
and make those adjustments.
Of course. And that's something that we've seen, unfortunately, Manny Pacquiao was not able to do in the Marquez fights. Like I said, the whole thing is that's what separates Floyd Mayweather from Manny Pacquiao. If Floyd Mayweather's having problems, like he had problems with Miguel Cotto, Maidana, Castillo, Zab Judah, and whoever else we could think of, Floyd Mayweather didn't have to wait for 3 fights to figure it out. He figured it out a couple rounds later, and that is the difference. So
and let me just add this too, going back to the testing, or I should say, Floyd paying people off, and that type of idiocy. USADA, WADA, VADA, State Athletic Commission of Nevada. You know what I mean? Who has a track record of bribery in the sport? Call it for what it is. You know what I mean? Not Team Mayweather.
Not Team Mayweather.
You know what I mean? His former promoter does.
On record.
Yeah,
not just speculation or assumption, on record.
Exactly.
You can look it up.
WADA, VADA, USADA.
So, man, excellent point, Norrin. I mean, come on. You know what we do, man. If you look at the track record,
State Athletic Commission of Nevada,
we already know. I mean, and like I said, and we're not trying to, crap on Bob Arum, but matter of fact, just look it up. I'll just let you guys look it up, and let me make the correction because I did look it up. Maidana, it wasn't a split decision.
Yeah, it was unanimous.
It was a majority decision because the judge Michael, whatever his last name is. He had to score, or he had the fight score 114 to 114. Okay, so one judge actually had it a draw. But still, my point remains.
Same thing, yeah.
My point remains, which is if this was a guy that was protected, there would be no close scores, especially in a fight where it clearly looked like Floyd Mayweather won. Of course, he had his stumbles, and he had someone who was competing with him. See, the whole thing with Floyd Mayweather is the guy is so talented that we are often comparing Floyd Mayweather to Floyd Mayweather. We are comparing Floyd Mayweather's performances of today to yesterday or his last opponent. So what that basically means is if we are used to seeing Mayweather beat a guy, 10 rounds to 2 or 12 rounds, to 0, and all of a sudden he wins a fight 8 rounds to 4 or 7 rounds to 5. Now all of a sudden you say, oh, because he actually lost rounds and he allowed the fight to be closer, that must mean he lost. And I think that's what happened in the Castillo fight. We weren't used to seeing Floyd Mayweather get hit, right? We weren't used to seeing him get hit. All of a sudden he gets hit with some shots. Now people automatically assume that, oh, that guy won the round.
And of course, Maidana exceeded everyone's expectations. You know what I mean?
Go.
He was very
a heavy underdog.
Heavy underdog, and he was really high off of that the beating he gave to AB, to Broner. So he went in there, he did his thing, he did, exceeded expectations. He put on a great show, great fight, but he didn't win. You know what I mean? So yeah, just like you said, Mayweather. Oh man. No, I'm just saying, listen, man, it's like, the thing that becomes so tough is that, guys, people are going to criticize us like, oh, you're defending Mayweather and all this other, ridiculous buffoonery, of course. But the thing is you're actually watching a once-in-a-generation type of athlete. You know what I mean? You're watching a Michael Jordan type of guy. You know what I mean? And he deserves that credit. And when you are that good, and you're that far above, the competition, at your time, unfortunately, when people exceed expectations, they're going to say, they did better than what they actually did. You know what I mean? And that's taking no credit away from, again, Maidana and the other, you know what I mean? These guys are professionals. These guys are, are great at what they do. They're fucking professional fighters. Yeah. You know what I mean? But Floyd is conclusively, decisively beating them one after another, one great performance after another. And you just got to give the guys credit.
You got to give him his credit. And a lot of times, Floyd Mayweather's worst performance is better than someone's best performance.
Of course.
Of course. So you got to look at it that way too. And once again, man, you fans, you keep acting like, you don't want this to be about race and you don't want to hear anything about race. But you guys are the ones that keep injecting race into the sport of boxing. Going back to what Ego said, Floyd Mayweather is the favorite. He's the favorite. He's never lost before, right? And so it makes logical sense that you would assume that Floyd Mayweather will win this fight because he's the favorite. Not only is he the favorite, but we know that 9 times out of 10, the boxer usually beats the banger. That's historical proof. You could go back and you could look at all the fights in the past. But the reason why I bring up the race angle is because I'm getting a lot of fans who send me messages when I do a breakdown. They'll say something like that, oh, you just said that because you're black. You just said that because you're black. But then at the same time, we just heard Oscar say it. We heard Hatton say it. Sergio Martinez say it. Nacho Beristain say it. And the list goes on and on and on. So you guys want to keep acting like this shit has nothing to do with race, but you keep injecting the shit. All right? So let's start making it about the actual sport. If you don't like the guy, just flat out come out and just say it, man. But stop playing the race card and just deal with the fact that Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao is an underdog. And it just is what it is. It has nothing to do with race, But it's just a coincidence that, people want to act this way about Floyd Mayweather and other people. You know what I mean? So, anyway. And the guy name was Michael Pernick, by the way. So that's the judge who had it a draw. Right. Michael Pernick is his name. In the first fight, Mayweather versus Maidana. Okay? So, another thing that I wanted to get into is here, what else was it we were going to talk about?
Matter of fact,
go ahead. Huh? Go ahead, Ego.
What about Premier Boxing? I was going to say, what about Premier Boxing champs?
There you go.
Thurman,
this weekend, man. This weekend. That's why I rely on you guys.
It's the brush.
Yeah. Oh, man. We going to get to...
He retired the brush.
Oh, man. Yeah, did he retire? We ain't seen the brush in a minute. Yeah, we ain't seen no wave grease or nothing, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, listen, man, this is gonna be a great weekend of boxing, man. Keith Thurman. I love the fact that so many people are actually picking Robert Guerrero to win the fight, man, because it makes the fight that much more intriguing. Because, just the fact that Keith Thurman goes from being the most avoided fighter, nobody wants to fight him, he's the most feared, at least below Guillermo Rigo. Now, all of a sudden, you have people saying that Guerrero can beat him. But, you know, another thing this says as well, of course, Norin, is your boy Floyd Mayweather. Why is it when Floyd Mayweather was fighting against Guerrero, the Ghost, he was a bum, he was trash, he was a cherry pick. Now all of a sudden they saying that the Ghost is going to beat Keith Thurman, the guy that they said that Floyd Mayweather is afraid of.
Well, that's my whole pardon my motherfucking French motherfucking point. Is that these guys are fucking elite fighters. They're elite athletes. And, you know, you just, again, listen, man, just to use the analogy real quick. And, again, Ego, I know you can appreciate this. You know, come on, man. Karl Malone, in any other era, he would have dominated the NBA. You know what I'm saying? A guy that size, run the floor, finish, you know what I mean? Finish at the rack, got a nice mid-range jumper. You know what I mean? Mastered the pick and roll with his Hall of Fame point guard. You know what I'm saying? This guy would have fucking dominated the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But he came along in Jordan's era. You know what I mean? So listen, these guys ain't no bums. These guys ain't no slouches. Yeah. You know what I mean? Robert Guerrero is not, you know what I mean? He's not a fucking bum, man. This is why people are picking him, you know, to beat Keith Thurman. I personally think that Thurman is going to win it in a decision.
Ditto.
You know what I mean? But this is why, because he's not a bum. But, you know, when he's fighting Mayweather, you know, again, it's a way to malign Mayweather.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, exactly, period. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it all comes down to.
Exactly. That's what it boils down to. So now, getting back to the here and now, March 7th, MGM, Premier Championship Boxing, NBC, Network TV. Yeah, that's a great fight. The Ghost versus One Time. And, you know, I mean, it's going to be an exciting fight. You know, neither guy, you know, I mean, Keith Thurman, he is a multifaceted fighter. Like our conversation last week, you know, he's a boxer puncher. He can do a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? And, you know, I think he is going to go out there and display his, you know, his full arsenal, you know, not just go out there and be, you know, looking for a quick knockout. I think he's too smart for that, you know what I mean? And Guerrero's a tough guy. And it's just going to be a spectacular fight. And I do expect One Time to get the victory. And like I said, in 12 rounds, you know what I mean? And I expect him to. I think he's going to impress, man. I think he's going to be impressed. I think similar to Wilder, similar to Deontay Wilder, that you know, he's going to leave a lot of us like, wow, Keith Thurman, yeah, he's the truth. He's ready. You know what I mean? He's ready. He's ready to bear that torch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I said, I love the
hopefully.
test. Yeah, hopefully. I love the test because Keith Thurman is a knockout artist, and he's going against a guy who's a stationary target and probably has one of the best chins in the business, right? And he brings it. He has an amateur pedigree just like Keith Thurman does. You know, he's a southpaw. I mean, man, everything I could think about when it comes to this fight, it equals a great matchup. You know, so yeah, I'm also picking Keith Thurman to win the fight. You know, I just can't wait to see if he can hurt Keith Thurman, Robert Guerrero, because I've never seen Guerrero hurt before. I think I could be wrong. I think he's had flash knockdowns early in his career. I'm not sure, but he's never been like hurt before. So it'll be really interesting to see if Keith Thurman can hurt him and how he's going to deal with a real test, because you know, this is a real test for him. You know, so I'm definitely picking him to win. I see him possibly staggering and maybe even knocking down Robert the Ghost Guerrero. The question is it going to be a case where Guerrero should have took a knee and he didn't take a knee because, you know, he has so much pride? But, you know, we'll see, man. We'll see how you see it playing out.
And also real quick, you know, if Thurman lets Guerrero, you know, get off too, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what
he deals
exactly.
With the incoming.
You already know.
Yeah. I mean, how you see it playing out, Ego?
I'm pretty much on the same page. I think I'm leaning towards Keith Thurman. I think just because he showed it, a lot of people complain about the Bundu. It was boring. The fight, I wasn't entertained, but that's because you only had one guy trying to make the fight. And
that's just them coincidental excuses, that's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but I can appreciate seeing a different, different tools in the tool shed from Keith Thurman. You're used to him blitzing guys and knocking them out. making easy work of him, and an Olympian, a former Olympian, took him the distance. So just him showing me that, now I know in the back of my mind he has that. And then for Guerrero, I think if Guerrero had progressed in the weight and he was fighting more like he did in the lighter divisions, I think it would be a better fight for him. But with his dad as trainer, like the Ruben Guerrero, he's a warrior and running like a chicken cutout. I feel like Guerrero's like evolving into more of a pure banger, like more stationary, and that's not how he used to fight in the lighter division. He was more methodical and more technical. So I think going in against a big puncher who can box, like more of a boxer puncher like Keith Thurman, he said last week he's an educated puncher. I'm definitely leaning towards Keith Thurman because just Guerrero just seems like the Berto approach. When he fought Berto, it worked for Berto, but it seems like ongoing that's kind of been his MO. Like with the Kamagai, that fight was way harder than it needed to be.
Way harder.
In my opinion. It was
Way
fight
harder.
of the year, but I think he made it way harder than, like, because he was boxing at first, and then he just started phone booth. And it, like I said, it was entertaining for fans. StubHub fight of the year, but I think he made it more difficult than he needed to. So I'm rocking with Thurman. What do you guys think of Broner, Molina?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. And Kamagai, he put a lot of pressure on Guerrero too. He put a lot of pressure on Guerrero. But yeah, now when it comes to Broner, man, I think we need to see that performance we seen against Antonio DeMarco. We haven't seen a performance like that since that fight. I mean, you know, of course, you know, he came off the loss with Maidana. Then he looked decent against Carlos Molina. But you seen flashes, you know, and then he fought the other guy. I'm forgetting the American's name.
Emmanuel. Emmanuel. Right?
Taylor. Yeah, Emmanuel Taylor. Yeah, he fought Emmanuel Taylor. You know, the uppercut knockdown was impressive, but it was flashes. You know, so this is a real good test. This is a good fight, man, because John Molina is the upset king. You know, I mean, he upset Mickey Bay. He upset Hank Lundy. You know, so and those fighters coincidentally have a style that is very similar to Adrien Broner's. He's going to be around for 12 rounds. Or, well, I don't know that because Matisse forced him to stop. But you know, Matisse beat the shit out of him. He really did. Even though John Molina kind of, you know, exposed Matisse a little bit because he knocked down Matisse. They was beating the shit out of each other, but, you know, Matisse, you know, he got the last laugh. But, yeah, man, I see Broner should knock out Molina as far as I'm concerned, or at least knock him down and have him busted up, cut, you know, bleeding, and just looking like, you know, he done been slashed with a damn chainsaw or something, you know. Broner should bring it. I mean, is that how you see it playing out, Norm?
It depends on what Broner, you know, decides to do. Broner is extremely talented, but you know, I'm not even gonna make the comparison. Let's save it. But you know what I'm saying. But listen, everybody don't know how to put all the components together to make it. You know what I mean? To make it gel and to make it harmonious. You know what I mean? One seamless, you know, effort. So. That's what Broner, you know, if he can do that, if he can put all his gifts, all his talents, all his skills, you know, together, and that's what I'm saying, you know, because he's going to want to impress, you know, that's Broner's personality. So he wants to, you know, go out there and basically steal the show. But going out there and stealing the show doesn't necessarily mean going in there and, you know, just, you know, walking forward and walking the guy down, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, and blowing him out. Go in there. Box, outsmart the guy. You know what I mean? Break the guy down. You know what I mean? Gradually over the course of the fight. You know what I mean? And then let the bombs go. You know what I mean? Now if he takes an approach like that, if that's his plan of attack, you know what I mean? His strategy for the fight, then I say that we might have a conclusion similar to what you just laid out. You know what I mean? But I think if he goes in there, you know, off the bat, trying to prove that, you know, he's the bigger, badder guy, you know what I mean? He might be in for a surprise.
I concur. And let me go ahead and wrap it up by saying this. This is what I meant to bring up earlier. If 50 Cent is challenging anyone, you know, $1.6 million
ice bucket
to get in to basically bet Manny Pacquiao versus Pacquiao, he's choosing Mayweather. I say challenge Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, you done said for the longest that Floyd Mayweather is a coward. He gonna get his ass beat. So if you truly believe that Manny Pacquiao is gonna win that fight, take 50 Cent's challenge and bet the $1.6 million on your boy Manny Pacquiao. So that's all I got, guys.
Curtis, that's the game plan.
Look, that's the game plan, baby. That's the game plan. Let me go ahead and let Ego, you got last seconds. You want to say anything before we close out? Real quick, Ego.
Nah, I'm good. Just everybody enjoy the new fights on NBC. They're doing the encore of the Premier Boxing Champs. In case you guys missed it, it's their version of 24/7 All Access. And then I'm looking forward to a double feature.
That's dope. That's dope.
Hey, I got something to say.
My man Noran gonna take us out.
I got a question. Now, say, listen, there's three types of people in this world. It's people who make things happen. There's people who watch things happen. And there's people who wonder what the fuck happened. Which one are you? DBN University.
All day, baby. Which one are you? We on to the next one. See y'all next week, Tuesday, 4:05 Pacific Standard Time, alltalkradio.net. Deuces.